we're gonna bring on Reina Montenegro. So she's a Filipino vegan chef. She had a couple restaurants in the Bay Area, and she's catered for dishes for mayors John Kwan of Oakland, Tom Bates of Berkeley, the late Ed Lee of San Francisco. She's also catered events from Apple, NASA, Uber, Twitter, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock Investments, and more. And here's some of the crazy things. So all of this stuff is vegan. So some of the dishes that she makes are lechon kawali, chicken adobo, caldereta, sizzling sisig, laing, tocino, corned beef, all vegan. So maybe we might learn about some of her dishes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe she might give us some tricks to her trade. Probably not, but it's all good. So anyways, without further ado, everyone, give it up for Reina Montenegro.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Am I okay? The lights are okay.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Look how relaxed she looks, guys. Everyone.
I know. I'm about to fall asleep here waiting for my turn. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. So I know we got a lot to cover. So like I say, is like where everyone comes from, I think kind of dictates kind of where your life leads or whatever. So let's start from the beginning. Where were you born, and let's go from there.
So I was born in this small little island called Negros Oriental, which is in the southern part of the Philippines, and the oh my god. I was 2 years old there. But I was a little island. It's called Dumaguete. It's very small. It's basically a school town, a college town. So a lot of people from all over the Philippines go over there because it's an international school. They teach in English, and so it was very popular for that. But it was definitely a very small, beachy town, like sleepy town, Yeah.
And then eventually you so I know you mentioned that you did a lot of stuff with your Lola, like learning to cook and
I did. So my parents were always busy, my dad was always working, so I would always go with her to her house, which was about 30 minutes away from my house. And that's what she did. All she did was cook, and she'd had a regular kitchen in her house, and then she would have a dirty kitchen in the outside of her house, and that's where she would always cook. So
do all the frying back there, and
so I always wondered why we had two kitchens, but now I understand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I wish I had a dirty kitchen.
Yeah. So I actually found a picture of your Lola on your Instagram.
Oh, my Lola!
So, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah. So definitely, like you said, she was a big part of your life. Kind of taught you a lot of things, and
huge part of my life. She named me, actually. She chose my name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's a special person for sure.
What do you know why she chose Reina?
So my dad had this story that there was a boat that docked near her house, and the name of the boat was Reina, and so she really loved that name, and it was around that time I was born, and so that's why she picked that name.
It's a gorgeous name. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Yes. So so from that, let's fast forward a little bit. So you went off to college.
I did.
And in the Philippines, and then you
so the deal with my dad was first of all, I enrolled myself in college, and I wanted to be on Broadway, right? I was like, I'm going to be a star, so I enrolled myself in speech and theater. And then when he found out, my dad's a businessman, and he's always been a businessman my whole life, so he was like, well, if you're gonna do that, I'm going to support you. I'm not going to pay for college. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to let you do this. You're not going to make any money. And so we made a deal. I said, you know what? I will take whatever course you want me to take, as long as you give me a one-way ticket to America after I'm done. So that was
always your plan? Was that always your plan to want to move to America?
Yeah, it was always like a dream of mine to live here, not knowing what here is about. I think I just wanted to leave because it was so boring there. I felt like if I stayed, I would have been under my dad's business. I would run his business, and I just was like, I felt stuck, and I felt like there was just so much more to life than my little island, So I was dying to get out, and I really wanted to come here. And so, long story short, I finished computer science Even if I hated it, I still hate it. I didn't never pursue that career. And yeah, I came here with my two suitcases in 1997 on August 2nd to be exact, and I never looked back.
Wow. And so you actually took some jobs in that sector, correct?
Hospitality. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. I
Oh, okay.
didn't at all. I actually
Okay.
went and took another 2 years of hotel management because it's the
Oh,
only
wow.
way for me to stay here and get a job. So yeah, I did that, and so I just climbed the ladder up from. So I started from the very beginning. I had no experience. So I started as a front desk clerk, and I immediately got after a year, I got promoted into being a sales assistant, and then I became a revenue manager. And then a year later, I became director of revenue for a few of the Kimpton hotels for a
Mm-hmm.
while there. And so I was like in the corporate game for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that's actually curious. Makes me curious. So you got into hospitality. Was there a reason why you kind of chose hospitality? It almost seems like
So
it's already planning your life already when you think
no,
about it.
I have to admit though, honestly, my dad owned hotels. My
Okay.
dad was a businessman. So one of his business was he had a resort and he had me run it on the weekends, and summertime and
Mm-hmm.
like vacation time. So I would always be running it for him. So I kind of knew, and honestly, it was the only course I could take that I didn't want to go through a whole 4 year of college in the US. I just wanted to do like kind of a vocational school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was like the closest to. I guess you're right. I mean, it kind of paved the way.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that till now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Like I said, like I think just the small choices that we make really kind of lead you in certain paths. So you know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna actually probably at the very end we're like, oh, this is makes total sense why you ended up where you are.
Hmm.
But did you have family here, or was it just by?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Not at all. I was, again, hopes and dreams. I was fueled by
Uh,
wanting my freedom, and I was fueled by wanting to be on my own, and I didn't want anyone to tell me what to do. I still don't want like people tell me what to do. But
and we'll get into
yeah,
that, right?
yeah. So nobody tells me what to do. But yeah, I mean, I came here and I was completely culture shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can probably relate to this. Have you been to the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
before?
Yes.
So like I've never worked a day in my life really. I
Yeah.
mean, I consider work as like hard work, like hard work. I came here. I was like, my gosh, everybody has to do their own laundry, and people need to cook for themselves. Like I mean, I've never cooked for myself. I've cooked a lot since I was young, but I was never for myself. It was
Yeah.
always just for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, culture shock. Like I lived in the Mission. My first apartment was there. I rented a room and had to go down the street, and there was all these homeless people and
Yeah.
screaming their heads off, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, but because of pride, I never. I
Uh,
was like, okay, I'm gonna just do this, even though I was crying my brains out every night. I called my parents, and when I called my parents and in the Philippines, I'm like, oh, everything's fine, it's great. And then when I hang up the phone with them, I'm like, oh, what have I done? You know. And so I think pride, yeah, pride did it. Pride was like, because my brother told my mom basically when I left that, oh, she's not gonna last a month. And when
uh,
I heard him say that, I was like,
like
you
no.
watch, I'm gonna stay here forever.
Yeah. So actually, going back. So are you? So there's two of you, or how many
So I've
siblings?
two. So I have one older brother, one younger sister. So my
Okay.
younger sister is very young, way younger than me. But then my brother is about 3 years older than me, so he's still there.
Yeah.
Everyone's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So at any point, did you? Obviously, you're like, no, I'm not going back, but you missed it a little bit.
all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the time. The luxuries of home and
Yeah.
just not be having to worry about anything, and all of a sudden you're by yourself, you're fending for yourself, and you're just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you,
Yeah.
but then I turned into this super workaholic person,
Yeah.
where I turned into the typical Filipina that comes to the US, where you work three jobs. You work
Yeah.
three jobs, you don't have a life, you just work, 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 work.
Yeah. So during this hospital, like when you're working in the hospitality industry,
Hmm.
were you? obviously you still had that, those memories of cooking with your mom. Were you kind of curious about like, what the chefs were doing there at those restaurants or those
No, not at
hotels?
all.
Okay.
Not at all. But um I didn't, and when you have a passion for something, right? You never
Mhm.
think about it as a job ever.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I never imagined food being my job. Like me cooking food would be my job. I always thought about it as something it would relax me with something. It would be something I might go to, like if I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like, oh, I miss Philippines or something, or I have a heartbreak or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
like cooking has always been my escape, just like the beach in the Philippines. It's
Yeah.
always been my escape. And so I never thought about it as a job. So when I worked around the restaurants, I mean, I love the hospitality industry. It was very cool. It taught me a lot, but cooking, I never thought it would be a job. That's for sure.
So, okay, but then, I guess on the side, while you're working here, were you kind of making dishes on the side or?
Well, yeah, I was cooking at home. I was definitely cooking a lot. I cooked a lot, a lot. I remember, and just it's my creative outlet. But I didn't really, because I was a workaholic. So I was working like 100 hours a week, right? So I really didn't have
Jeez.
time to do anything. And then we bought my ex-husband at that point. My husband at that time, because I got married with my college boyfriend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He came here, and then so we got married, and then that's how I was able to stay here longer even.
Gotcha.
So we got married, and then I decided one day, after so burnt in corporate world, I was just like, I had like this, no pun intended, twitch. This, no pun intended, twitch
Yeah.
on my eye, and I couldn't, when I would be walking, and I couldn't see the road because I was so stressed. So I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna work anymore. I'm gonna quit, and then I'm just gonna have kids. And so I did just that. But then even when I quit, I still did consulting for the hotel, so I still got paid. Then I'm like, okay, 4 months into it, not working. I'm like, okay, this is boring. I need to work. I need to work. So then I got a job as an executive assistant. I basically said, and then no offense on the executive assistant, that's a very hard job, but I said I want a job that I don't have to think. I just want to like clock in, clock out, done. Like I don't have any responsibilities. I don't want to be a manager. So I was lucky enough to be able to support this guy, and he's a executive vice president for this publishing company. And he was traveling all the time that he allowed me to work from home as his assistant. I was like, okay. So when he allowed me to do that, I was like just having business all over. I opened a coffee shop. I was like doing all these side hustles
Wow.
because I had so much free time. Like I would
Yeah.
work for him for 2 hours, and then the rest of the day I'm like, what to do.
Yeah.
So then that's when it all started. I opened my coffee shop in 2010,
You
and
didn't
then
mention that. I didn't know you opened a coffee shop.
yeah, it was short lived. It was in
Okay.
Park Merced in
Okay.
SF, near SFSU.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. We sold blue bottle coffee. It was called Cafe Arena. It was nice.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then we got rid of it after 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't go into the coffee business. It's terrible. But anyway, yeah, terrible. Don't do it. So, so then what was so then I was doing all these side hustles. Then when that happened, I had a lot of time in my hands, and I started like, cooking more.
Mhm.
And then we had attended this church that was so into my cooking for some reason, and they were like, come on, just make us something, make us this dish, and then we will pay you. Just, I'm like, what? I don't want to get paid for this. This is like a hobby. And
Mhm.
they're like, yeah, but we'll buy the ingredients or something. So that's when it all started. Like people
Mhm.
started knowing that I guess I could cook.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then that's when it happened. And then I started like, you know um I was in this job for 10 years, the executive assistant job. So I had a lot of gigs on the side, and then all of a sudden I started doing these catering gigs on the side, and then
Mhm.
people found out about it. And then eventually I got laid off from that
Mhm.
job because I
Okay.
was doing nothing. And that was a blessing because I was able to kickstart my catering business.
And so they, at that point, then you kind of went full time, like, okay, I'm just gonna
I
keep doing
did.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, because like they gave me 6 months severance with
Oh,
paid
nice.
everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. I know this is from Nick, I think Nick's, but this at least
Yeah.
shows your catering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. So then at that point, yeah. So I noticed at that point you started getting bigger and bigger gigs, right? And I think you
Yeah.
mentioned that you kind of it just
It exploded.
yeah, it was like an avalanche,
Yeah.
right?
It was. It was. I was so surprised because I was on this platform called Thumbtack and they were so new. And I think I was one of five caterers that was signed up for their platform. And then
Wow.
they had contracts with like Apple, Uber, and all these like Goldman Sachs. They were so in tune with the corporate account. So I was able to cater for them lots of times. But then it was a one woman show, so I couldn't
Mhm.
really. I'm like, I did everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was asking you about that. Did you eventually start, I guess hiring some help a little bit to help you?
Yeah, I mean, so as I was saying, I would get 4 or 5 gigs a month, which made so much money that I would only hire people temporarily during the day of the event or even a day
Mhm.
before just to help me out. But one or two people, not very much, and then I would just take a vacation the rest of the month. That was
Mhm.
like catering's for the money, guys. Don't.
Yeah. So Ray, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Okay,
But
okay, okay. I'm
uh,
bitter. Can you tell I'm so bitter?
yeah, yeah,
I'm
and
so bitter.
which is funny your next venture, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
but yeah. So restaurant, like, were you out of I forgot what you call it, operating out of a commercial kitchen? Were you at your home kitchen?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I'm so bootleg. Okay, guys. So I think I probably broke the sewer system in our house, our old house, because I swear to God, I would get like, oh, a call, oh, we need catering for 200 people. Can you do it? I'm like, of course, as if I do it all the time.
Hustle, it's the hustle.
It's like, you know what? This is why I always tell everybody, brand like new entrepreneurs. I'm like, dude, don't ever say no to a job.
Mm.
Just like say yes and then figure it out later. Just get the experience. And that's I was a yes woman. I was like, what do you need? Yes, I got it. Like there's no answer. I just said yes to everything. So then I would cook at my house, and I couldn't really do it all in my kitchen. So I got a barbecue thing with a burners too,
Hmm.
a big one. And so then I cooked there, and then I had like, oh God. So I had like all these, like I was just lining up all these food, 200 people,
It's
and then
crazy.
deliver it downtown, like as if I had a whole team behind me.
How did you
No one
transport
did.
it?
So I would have like these, like aluminum trays, and
Yeah.
then I would just like put it in my car, and it was just those are the days, man. Those are the days. I made more money then than I did, doing restaurants.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so on from that point, like, I mentioned, you started doing all these other bigger corporate gigs,
Yeah.
and eventually, so what the idea for Nick's Kitchen, how did that come about?
So I was getting so tired of renting kitchens everywhere. Like I would rent like a commercial kitchen here. I mean, I had a lot of kitchen partnerships along the way, but I was just getting tired of sharing kitchens and then like using someone's kitchen for something else. Like I always felt like they had dictated again. It goes back to like I hated being told what to do
Hmm.
and like restrictions on what I can do. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I want to get my own kitchen.
Mm.
And then, I was so, gosh, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you guys, this is going to be my only tell all for the night. I swear.
Are you sure? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my first tell all is, um, Nick's, before I bought it, they were this mom and pop shop that cooked really good Filipino food to the point that I would even go there on my days off and I would eat there because their food was so good, right? It
Yeah,
was like my mom and dad's place.
yeah,
Oh man, that makes me cry, dude. That's like my home right there.
yeah.
Anyway, so what I would do is if I would get this big catering gig for Filipino food, I would be like, ma, I would be like, Ate, can you make 4 trays of caldereta and this? I would order from them and then charge these guys, these like rich corporate effers, double what I would pay them,
Wow.
right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Smart
Because I would
business
be like,
though.
yeah. So
Nice.
I'd be like, oh, you want caldereta? Oh, yeah, I can do that. You know. So I ordered everything from them because they were so good, and that's how I made money that way. And then one time the wife came up to me and said, "Oh, your Kuya Nick is sick, and we don't really want to do this business anymore. It's like, any
Mhm.
chance you want to buy it?" I was just like, what? Buy it? No way. I was like,
Real quick though, so they knew you were in catering at the time. Is that why they
yeah, yeah,
approached you
yeah.
about it? Okay, okay,
Yes, yes,
okay,
100%. They wanted someone who knew the business, the
okay.
business. So
Yeah.
then, so then I was like, okay, okay, I'll think about it. And they kept like pestering me and stuff. So I was like, and then at that time I was like, I really need a kitchen. I really need just my own spot. So I just went for it, man. I didn't even, I thought about it for a second. I'm just like, I'm gonna F it. I'm gonna do it. And so I cashed in my 401k, which I had from that last company, and I
Wow.
basically dove my entire life savings
Jeez.
into this place. And yeah, just continued on the operation. So what I did so that we didn't have to wait for so long to open, I did an LLC because they were a sole proprietorship at the time. I did an LLC. I added them into oh wait, I turned their I'm sorry. I turned their sole proprietorship into an LLC. We both were owners, and then I took him off the LLC, and I just continued it on, so I wouldn't have to change anything,
Mhm.
like the permits and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Because from what I understand, the permit process to get a liquor
Yeah,
license, get all of those things just takes
yeah,
forever. And
it
I
does.
even
It does.
yeah, yeah. So that was actually really smart. So like you said, I think you didn't even close a day, right? Or
We did
okay,
some we upgrades, a little
okay.
bit because it kind of looked like a McDonald's in there. So yeah, it was
So
like so yellow and like I was like, okay, red chairs, like I can't. But
yeah.
yeah, my partner at that time, he was a contractor, so he
Oh,
built it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. So were there other people you kind of consulted? Because I know, like, at least for me, I guess it's based on you understanding the hospitality industry and kind of like working with your dad. I mean, how did you learn all of that stuff? As far as branding and
Oh my God.
what to order and everything. And
Uh, zero. No one.
yeah.
Only because here's another segue. I feel like I'm all over the place. Let me know if I am, but
No.
um, when I came here in 1997 and I worked as a front desk person, I had a very bad experience with a family at the hotel. They were a whole family that worked in the front desk, and it was like the sister, the brother, they all worked there. And they have kind of this crab mentality where it's like they got very upset with me for being promoted and all that. So I had such a bad vibe, and I felt like maybe this is how it is. This is how Filipinos are in the U.S. I mean, because I come from a small town in the Philippines, and I've never experienced that kind of like backstabbing kind of thing. Like I was very surprised when I came here. So I was always so stayed away from Filipinos when
Hmm.
my whole time that I was here because
Oh,
I just felt like I'm scared,
yeah.
kind of scared of like um I guess it's a trust issue. I don't know, but so I didn't really have anyone. I didn't really. I'm a very private person, and I have very few friends. So I just did this like blindly, really. I mean, it
Hmm.
was like just a passion fueling it,
Yeah.
and honestly, I people will say that like I am a social media whore. I guess you can say that because like it was really how we got out the word out. There was
Hmm.
nothing. I mean, we had one press release that I hired someone from Fiverr to do it for like
Oh,
$80,
yeah.
the day we opened. But yeah, so it was a learning experience for sure. I mean, there was really nobody.
Yeah. Was your, I guess, husband at the time helping you out with that, or?
Partner, no, he helped with the building of the place
Okay. Okay.
for sure. But I was the one doing all the social media and like, trying to spread the word that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know. So, how was that? Like that first year?
So it was terrible
Yeah.
because I turned vegan in 2015 and I bought the
Okay.
place in 2016. So
Okay.
when I opened the place, I was like, oh my God, I can't even eat at my own restaurant because it's just like I didn't. By the way, I didn't change the menu when I bought the place, and I also kept the cook and you know, so I basically kept the cook so that the food stays the same, it's the same
Hmm.
taste, and then so people doesn't they won't like see the difference of the food, but eventually I was like, God, I'm going to the Pacific Super, like buying pork blood and pork whatever it is, like it's for dinuguan, and it was just very hard, it was
Yeah.
very tough.
Yeah. And
And so
actually,
then,
so
yeah,
sorry. Um, Go ahead.
yeah, so it came to a point where the business went down because I just didn't even want to be there because I felt like it was just not, it was not aligning to what I was, what I believe in really.
Hmm.
And so we had to face the question, we had to think about, are we going to continue this, or are we going to, are we going to change it, or are we just going to let it go? It was like basically that.
Hmm. And so let's backtrack a little bit. So you went vegan in 2015. What were your reasons for that?
It is for health reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was so my kids and my partner at that time, every time they would have we couldn't figure out why there was like a skin disease or skin issue.
Mm.
And so I started looking it up, and then I just like stumbled upon all these documentaries, What the Health, Forks Over Knives, all these things. And it just kind of, everybody has their own awakening when they turn
Hmm.
vegan. It's like not everybody goes through that.
Hmm.
You have to make the decision yourself to be vegan. You can't be like, oh, this is like a diet thing. It's a fad thing. No, it's not. It's a way of life.
Hmm.
And then, so for me, it was an awakening. It was like, oh my God, dairy is really, really bad for you. And
Hmm.
meat is terrible. And for me, I don't have attachment to animals. I'm Filipina. I mean, pigs get slaughtered at 5 a.m. when there's fiesta. I mean,
Yeah.
we're having lechon today. That's what we're having. That's what it
Hmm.
means when you hear an animal being slaughtered. But so it never really clicked. And then
Hmm.
for me at that time, that's when it clicked where I'm like, I can't, this is not right.
Yeah. Definitely. At that point, you decided to, I guess, pivot, and
Mhm.
you made mixed kitchen, or you made an all vegan menu.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So at home, so since I was already vegan at home, I was already cooking vegan, right?
Hmm.
I was already cooking vegan food. And then, so I already had kind of a menu in my mind, right? I'm like, I already knew what I was going to do. And it was not going to be a Filipino vegan restaurant. It was going to be like a world cuisine kind of thing because I
Hmm.
don't only cook Filipino food. In fact, Filipino food is not really my forte. That's like
Hmm.
not my number one dish to cook, but it's my number one to eat. I love eating Filipino food. But yeah, so it was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then if it doesn't work, we're just gonna close because, at least we tried, right?
Hmm.
But then I again did the press release thing, and then the vegan community found out, oh my God, there's a Filipino vegan restaurant. And then it just
Hmm.
went crazy viral on Facebook and Instagram. And then next thing you know, every day when we opened, we were we were sold out of everything. We couldn't even keep up with demand. I mean, it was just
Wow.
like there was a line, people were lining up. And I remember just sitting down in the corner after one night of service. And I was like cooking, I was serving, I was doing, we were like stretched out. I remember I sat down on the side and I just cried my eyes out because I couldn't believe it. I thought it was over, you
Yeah.
know. But I thank you for the vegan supporters.
Definitely. Definitely.
Appreciate them.
And so these were things you were doing on the side, like obviously at home. Did it take a while to kind of, I guess, teach the chefs, or were you mainly doing the one doing all the cooking, instructing, or
Yeah, so at first I was, and then
yeah,
a lot. I mean, I did a lot of like trial and error, and so what I think my advantage. Here's my advantage. When the owners of the old Knicks before they left, they taught me how they cooked their dishes, right?
uh,
They taught me how to do it. So I was like, okay, okay. And then I was like, so when in my back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna use like this strategy. I mean, I'm going to use their methods, but then
yeah,
change it into different different meat substitutes.
yeah,
And so I think that's what really helped me out. And that I just thought about that now. I'm like, how did I even come up with that? And then so yeah, a lot of it like a trial. Some dishes like um the lumpia took me like 3 months to do.
wow,
The leche flan too. Like
yeah,
it takes a long time, but
yeah,
it's worth it for sure.
uh,
And plus, it took a long time because I didn't want to be that vegan chef that would put out vegan food and vegans will be okay with it. I wanted to be like so close to what meat
hmm,
used to taste like. And I was a newly vegan, so I know what meat tastes like. You know, it's not like I haven't had meat in like 20 years.
yeah,
You know, so I wanted it to be like really close to the real
wow,
thing because I myself, selfishly, I wanted to eat it. I didn't want to miss out either. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on tocino. I love tocino. I used to eat tocino all the time.
yeah, of course.
You know what I
Um,
mean?
so yeah, so I guess with obviously since you said it take a couple months to come up with these dishes, would you just throw them out, or would
Oh
you?
my God. So yeah, I would throw them out. Like if they
Oh
went right up,
no!
it needs something. It needs something. It needs
Yeah,
something. Like, oh, it's not, what is it? What does it need? You know? So and then it was really fun because we had this special board in Nick's, you know, the Nick's kitchen, the home one. We had a specials board, chalkboard. So I would always come up with like new dishes almost every day or every week, and I would put it on the specials board. And then if it's such a hit, then we put it back in. We put it in the menu. So
nice.
that's how we created our menu. So we'll have like main stuff that we would
Yeah,
serve, and then we'd have all these specials, and then
yeah.
whatever like. But everybody loved the special. I don't know. Everybody just loved the food for some reason.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah,
it's like
lucky.
workshopping. You know, you're kind of using them
Yeah.
as a test audience.
Exactly. I still do that, but now I do
Yeah,
it among friends because I have no audience yet.
yeah. So going to this because I know a lot of people who when you did this, I know you mentioned that there was a little not resent I guess resentment or like
Hmm.
flack or people kind of like being like, "What are you doing? This is
Oh yeah,
supposed to be."
totally giving me shit for sure.
Yeah,
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 100%. So, I mean, let me see. Let me think about what the words. One is oxymoron. I love that one. It's an oxymoron. Filipino and vegan. It's an oxymoron. Okay. Next, another one is this is bullshit. We're Filipino. We eat meat. Kalokohan.
yeah.
Okay. Um. Oh yeah, I know this one. I'm an abomination to my culture because I am changing tradition.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I was like, hey, I'm just trying to save your life, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to save people's lives here. I'm not trying to do anything. And you know what? It never really got to me when they said that. I felt like, okay, well, I guess I'm getting attention, you know?
hmm,
Doesn't matter if it's bad.
yeah. Any news is good news. Is that's the saying, right? Because that
Exactly.
means people are talking about you, and
Yeah,
there's
I was like, yeah, bring it. You know, I was
yeah,
like, one time I told this Lolo, I told him, hey, you know, come on, let's taste the food first, and then you don't have to pay, just eat it, you know.
yeah,
And then he tried it, and he was like, oh my God, do you know that my brother's nephew's cousin is vegan? And you know,
yeah.
so he was giving me so much crap, and then it ended up he liked the food. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
so
And how was your during this time too? Obviously with you opening a restaurant and kind of pivoting, how are your parents kind of reacting to all of this news?
about the being vegan,
Or just
or
everything in general, because obviously you were kind of like lying to them. You're like, oh, everything's great, and then but then now everything's really great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that we skipped a bunch of
Yeah.
parts where they came over and they
Oh,
saw
okay.
what la la la. So then they did see my life. Every time I would have a baby, they would come in for a year and help me out, and then come home and go back. So yeah, they've been on this journey with me for quite some time, and
Yeah.
and I think this is the time when they're most.
Hold on, everyone. There you go.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear you. Okay.
I used one. I knew I needed to only use
Yeah.
one because it was gonna die on me.
Yeah, no, it's smart.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we're not going to get into your secrets, but I'm curious, like, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious because people are like, oh, and I've heard other people who've, done vegetarian or vegan or whatever, and they just kind of just throw tofu or whatever. But I think I remember reading somewhere that you're really particular about getting the textures of everything and, making it be like, I mean, like, look at that lechon kawali. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, that looks legit. Like, what, I guess, without you divulging too much, I mean, what is it? Just like the amount of time you're cooking thing, or the different type of, products you use, or
Yeah. So I do buy a lot of my fake meats, but it's what you do to it that matters. So for me, the taste so easy. I can always just get it right away. I can
Yeah.
it's so easy. But then the texture is such a like I know when it's not. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you're
No,
just
of
like,
course.
no, not good enough. Like I'm always like that. Like when I eat at other restaurants and I try their food and people always say, God, you're so hard to please. I'm like, it's not even about hard to please. It's like, if we are going to try to convince 7 billion people that are carnivores in the world, in the planet, our game's got to be up here. It can't be like down here. So, so yeah, I mean, it's more of like for myself too. Like I want it to be like, like what I used to eat, not just like this new thing. But yeah, I mean, it's basically getting the right substitute meat. I mean, it could be tofu. I mean, that sisig that we serve that's so popular, we do like 3 things to that tofu to make that texture look like that.
Wow.
We cook the mushroom 3 times. Like we boil it, we chop it, we grill it. I mean, we do it's just so it will taste just like pork snout or ears. I mean, it's gross, but so it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot of process, but it's worth it because it's good.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, oh my God, I just totally skipped my. I'm trying to remember.
I see.
No,
I'm trumping you now.
I know, no, it's so amazing. It's so. I mean, like, look at Ella. She's like, dang, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
but
think
you can buy. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can buy that. That is actually a wheat gluten. It's called konjac, the fat part. It's yeah, it's an actual vegetable. So yeah, you can actually buy that. But the thing is, what we do to it is what matters. It's like, what is your flavor?
Yeah.
The flavoring. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think are your?
That's a carnitas.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading. I was like, man, that looks. So, what's you think are your favorite or your most popular dishes?
So, the sisig for sure, the lumpia for sure, and the tocino. The tosilog for me is, I always call it the Reina dish.
Yeah.
It's the most Reina dish in all of them.
Gotcha. Oh, and now I remember. So, I think where you had your advantage is, you just becoming vegan in 2015. So you still remember those textures very, fresh in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas other people who are vegan trying to like replicate things, they probably haven't eaten meat for a while. So I think it was like a perfect moment, for you to kind of really work on it. So I think that's where you have the advantage over a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I mean, I don't want to. I thank God for people that have been vegan for a long time, but I'm glad I wasn't. I guess for the only reason that I can provide this kind of food for people.
Mm-hmm. So after that, I think we were mentioning it. So you started coming on a lot of lists. 15 essential Filipino restaurants in the Bay Area, Eater San Francisco. You want to talk about that, like the buzz and everything that
Yeah, you know what really helped me is the people at Cultivate Labs, in Soma,
Hmm.
Filipinas when I opened over there. So I'm really happy that we're talking about this because it goes back to my story about not trusting Filipinos for so
Yeah.
long.
Hmm.
I remember just being there and I'm still kind of like, oh, I don't know, I'm Filipinos again, this and that. But then when I met Desi Danganan and his group and Paloma, who's now my publicist, um, they really embraced me as like an actual person,
Uh-huh.
and they did everything to help me kickstart Nix on Mission. I mean, I was on every single page, SF Weekly, Chronicle. I was like in all these you know yeah, all these publication, and they really
Hmm.
pushed it hard. And I felt, that I had a home again. And I felt like, oh, these are my peeps, these are like my real peeps that really embraced me into this community.
Hmm.
Because I didn't feel that for so long, you
Hmm.
know.
Definitely.
So
So let's backtrack. So that was so Nick's on Mission was your third restaurant. So
yes.
you had Nick's Kitchen,
Yep.
and then you opened in
Nix on Grand.
2018 Nick's on Grand.
Hmm.
So so what was the reason for opening up a second restaurant?
Honestly, I don't know. No, just kidding. Who the hell knows? God. Okay. So, well, first off, because our landlady at the other place was giving us problems. She was just we had made agreements with her, and she was just like really giving us a hard time. And then we got so big that we couldn't really accommodate everybody in the small little kitchen.
Hmm.
And so we needed a bigger space. And we found this place, on Grand. It was a better location. You had parking and it was 3,000 square feet. So, why not?
Oh, yeah. So Nick's on Grand, I think that was kind of I guess a fancier version, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Was that you just kind of wanted to try like a fancier
Mm,
setup or
I think it was my partner at that time that really wanted that.
uh
Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really want to open a second location. I
yeah.
love Nick's on Geneva,
Uh-huh.
Um, but Grand we had a good run at Grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
it
then
definitely allowed us to like get more known and get more people in.
mhm.
Definitely. It was a beautiful place. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really
it's
beautiful.
gorgeous. Definitely.
Yep.
So then yeah, from that point, so you met with yeah, you said Soma, right?
Yeah.
And Undiscovered, right? And so that kind of you started doing other thing, I guess other catering events and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
And so it was really hard for me to go back to my old corporate accounts that I did because
Hmm.
it was that now I'm vegan, so not everybody wants a vegan chef. I mean, it probably changed by now, but oh my God, look at
Hmm.
my hair. So I was doing classes too. That was
Hmm.
fun. I
Yeah.
love that. Man, I
And
was in a lot of stuff. Huh?
yeah,
You
yeah,
found
definitely. That's
everything.
I
You're
found.
so resourceful, man.
I try. Yeah, so like everyone sees right here, definitely she was called to do guest on a lot of things, and yeah, the buzz just kept coming and coming,
Yeah.
and how were you? Because I've heard and I know the restaurant industry is really tough. You guys are literally there from like I don't know what time, probably like 8 in the morning, maybe earlier. You're
Mhm.
there till close because obviously you're the owner, and probably the head chef, right? And
Yeah,
you close,
definitely.
and then you're a couple hours after that. How did you find time to do all these other guest spots and interviews and?
So when we had staff, I mean, I think the worst thing, oh God, I can't even talk about it without feeling like it's like, yes, you are on 24/7 if
Mhm.
you have a restaurant. Before COVID anyway. So before COVID, it was like go, go, go. Yeah, you need to do a store, you need to go this, you need to this and this and that. So yeah, I mean it's a 24/7 job for sure, but um I don't want to do that again ever.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. But
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so after that, so yeah, there's a couple of the, I guess,
Undiscovered.
I discovered
Yeah,
all that stuff, and obviously going to those things kind of spread the word even more for your restaurants, correct?
definitely, definitely. And I
Yeah.
think because we at that time we were the only vegan Filipino in the Bay, so it was one of those things where we had a niche. You know, it was like
Hmm.
people were very intrigued by it. Like even people that were not vegan would come over and be like, "What is this? You know, like what is this all about?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my baby.
So, now are there any other vegan Filipino restaurants? Are you still, or at the
I'm
time you
still the
still?
only one, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we were talking about this. I think probably during this time you started finding out, a lot of other vegan chefs started reaching out to you,
Yeah,
and
definitely. I mean,
through social media.
there's definitely a network of, I mean, we're just so little of us. There's so few of us, you know. Oh my
Hmm.
God, that photo. Um, there's so few of us that yeah, it's definitely a very close knit family in the Bay
Hmm.
Area for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to be able to like, talk to them and just like talk about their struggles too. And yeah, it's nice.
Definitely. So then, yeah. So we can fast forward. So yeah, with I think you said Paloma and other people kind of helping you, you're able to
Yeah.
open Nick's on Mission, which was more turo turo joint, which for people is more like the translation right is point joint,
Yeah,
basically.
point
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Hmm.
So we can kind of pull that up. Yeah. How was that experience?
Yeah, so we opened at the most sketchiest place, Sixth and Mission, which is like where all the crack hotels are. I was like, ooh, it's a good deal. Okay, it's a good deal because it's in the middle of freaking, gonna get your head chopped off. But no, so yeah, it was also popular. I mean, we were just starting. We opened in November and then COVID hit in March. So we couldn't really do the whole, the full swing opening and market the place. And we were ready, Soma Filipinas and Desi and everybody. We had a whole plan for the place,
Oh man.
and we just had to we couldn't I mean, with the area, oh my goodness, we wouldn't survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show some of the pictures real quick because I thought
Yeah.
it's definitely a very different feel from
Yeah.
Nick's on Grand. Hold on, where is it? So yeah, I guess your offerings were they pretty similar to the other restaurants, or were you trying
Yeah,
to?
so pretty smaller menu, more of like, where you would go to a carinderia and you would just point on what you want. There you go.
Hmm.
You point to what you want and then you just, that's what it is.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I am Erwin Dude says, buy that one store.
Yes, the porn shop. Yeah, I
Oh,
opened beside a porn shop. The left side of that photo is a
oh,
porn shop. I loved it.
oh.
I loved
So
it.
I'm sure every time you had to take pictures, like, okay, can we have you move a little to the right?
Yeah, let's not have the sparkling lights around this. Oh my God. I mean,
Well,
and you know what's funny too? You would hear the videos neck like
no.
on our. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I would be in the back in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I would hear these noises, and I'm like, "What is that?" And you'd go closer to the storage room, and there it would be.
Yeah. Oh man, they must be playing it really loud then.
Yeah, well, they had like videos and all these different things.
Did, so, do you know if you had any, if there were any customers that frequented both establishments? I'm just
Okay, I
kidding.
didn't
I'm just
care.
kidding.
I need the money. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah, of course. Yeah. So like you said, this is 2019. Sorry, what was this? December you said, or
November
November?
1st.
Okay.
We opened November
So
1st.
so yeah, so that's like a couple more months before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
What and I think I saw you were also you were also a part of Filipinos Feed the Front Lines,
Right.
trying to
Well,
help
that's
people
that's
out.
what happened. Yeah. So they came up with Feed the Front Lines when the pandemic hit, because it was like we were making at Grand Avenue, we were making like 2 grand a month, and then like we had to fire everybody, right? Lay everybody
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And so we ended up making like, it would be lucky if we would make like $300 a day from making
Jeez.
2 grand a month. Can you
Yeah.
believe that?
That's crazy.
So I was like, this is not gonna this is not gonna work, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a struggle, man. It was like a really real struggle for so
Hmm.
long. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I feel for all these restaurants. I mean, every time I see an article about another restaurant closing, and
Hmm.
I mean, I understand it. I totally understand. I understand why people are just giving up, because it's a
Yeah.
hard business to begin with. I mean, profits when you start your restaurant in the first year, like you're lucky you get 10%, you know, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then I think you're also to kind of help things out. You're offering virtual cooking classes too to kind
I
of help
did.
offset costs, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because I was like, you know, people are at home, they don't know what to do, and so I was trying to you know, just
God, those
teach
look so
virtual
good.
classes.
Sorry,
That's
that looks
the kare
so good.
kare.
Whew.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that.
Yeah. So you know, doing all these things to kind of, I guess, keep your restaurants afloat. Was it what was going on in your head at the time? Were you a little worried or?
You know what? I was like, honestly, I'm honest because, you know, everyone opens up to you. Honestly, the COVID is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was, dude, I was burnt.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm done with this. I don't. This restaurant business is really hard. Hard on your body, hard on your emotionally, hard on your kids. You know, I mean, my kids would help work and stuff, but
Mhm.
man, it was like a 24/7 job, and I felt like I never rested. I haven't rested for 5 years, you know.
Yeah.
And when it
Yeah.
hit, and it was forced, like we were forced to shut down. We were forced to not have any staff, so no bills, nothing. So I basically was like, okay, vacation time, you know,
Yeah.
like it's time to rest. And for me, for just mentally, it was great, you know.
Yeah.
But what was going on in my head is like, oh no, where it's over. I mean, I just knew it was over.
Yeah. So obviously you decided to close all three restaurants. Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
So the first one already closed before the pandemic,
Okay.
right? So then Grand closed in September,
Hmm.
and then Mission was already closed. Mission didn't even reopen, you know, at all.
Hmm.
We shut down in March, and then we never reopened.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, was it tough? I mean, you said it was a blessing, but I mean, initially though, it was a little tough, right?
I think because there's a lot of personal things that happened, so that made it even tougher.
Yeah.
But making the decision to close Nick's was not tough for me at all.
Yeah.
Plus,
Okay.
you know, I mean, I was getting tired of explaining who Nick is
Yeah.
to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
Nick's it was the previous owners. It was one of the,
It was
I
the
guess,
actual chef. Yeah,
the
he
actual
was
chef.
the chef. Yeah, and
Got it.
Kuya Nick was a really nice guy. You know,
Yeah.
respect the Kuya Nick, but he hated vegans.
so
And
so actually, yeah. So that, going back to really quick. So did he know that you were changing it to vegan? And
no,
oh,
no,
okay.
he didn't know. And which was funny because like I would tell people, why did you call it Nick's, you know?
Yeah.
Why is it Nick? And I would always say, well, there's two reasons. The reason is that Nick hates vegans, and I'm trying to convince people like Nick to turn vegan.
Yeah.
That's one answer, right?
Uh huh.
But the
Uh
real
huh.
answer is obviously the legality of it too.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then you decide to, I guess, after the closing, I think recently you started to kind of come out from Nick's because, people are like, who's Nick's or whatever. And you decided to come out with Chef Reyna,
Right. So,
right?
you know, I think it's also part of a becoming episode where it's like, you know, it was all like lining up to be where I am now, where it's like no partnerships. no investors, no hiding behind the next brand anymore. It's more like, this is me,
Mm-hmm.
this is me. Let me reintroduce myself, like
Mm-hmm.
the Ariana Grande song. Oh wait, Ariana Grande. Wait, which one is that? Reintroduce myself. No, it's Gwen Stefani. So
Okay.
she came out with a song called "Let Me Reintroduce Myself." But it's,
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely one of those where it's like a rebirth, a chance to start over again, but all on my terms and
Mhm.
just me.
And so what is the I guess what is the what's your strategy exactly? Are you
So here's the strategy. Number one, we're not going to open a sit down restaurant in the
Mhm.
future. It's not going to
Okay.
be that way. So we have a lot of plans. One is we're already starting it now. We're selling care packages, like frozen care packages of the vegan meats that I make. And they're 1 pound packages that you can order, and you can bring to your house and cook, use it to cook. As people always say, oh, I don't know how to make this and that. So they'll have that. Um, we're gonna start shipping that nationwide, and then we're gonna do meal preps, like healthier version of Chef Reina, which is like people always ask me, can we do like a portion meals for like people that are trying to do it for health and like they want to
Mhm.
do fitness and stuff. So we're gonna do that as well. And then catering mostly. It'll just be catering. And I want to get into the schools. Like there's this
Yeah.
lady that wants me to work with her to start providing meals funded by FEMA, um, you know, that will provide meals for kids and stuff like that. So that's a good one. And there's another one that I can't really talk about right now, but
Mhm.
there's another project as well. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I'm definitely pivoting from the dine-in. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not happening. It's not happening anytime soon. But the best thing I think that I could do for people that do miss the sit down thing is we're gonna do pop-ups like Thursday, Friday nights or and Saturday nights. We'll be open late, and I come up with these new things, for people to try, and so to go only, but you know,
Yeah, that's very cool. Like and how did you I guess come up with all these different ideas and
I don't know. It just
yeah.
kind of well, I think it came up because I did not want to do that. I didn't want to do what I did before. I'm not gonna do it like the way I'm gonna do it smarter this time.
Yeah.
They always say work smart, not hard.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's
Definitely.
I value my time now. I do a lot of self-care now. I don't ever let myself, you know, go work wise, and I make sure I spend time with my children and
Mhm.
my friends and myself. And so I'm definitely going to do it smarter, have a really good team in place, and just work that way. Yeah.
Definitely. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
so what about the I guess like the staff that you were working with, are you bringing any of them along board
Oh
or
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yep.
definitely.
So
That's
they're
awesome.
still working for me now. I mean,
Okay.
I have a couple people working for me, but there's staff coming back. And it's exciting because with the new place, we have um there's a back of the restaurant that we have an open space, and I want to create it into a studio where I can record like cooking videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to make that. So we're going to do that construction after we get our permits for the new restaurant.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so what is this new restaurant? Since you're saying it's not going to be a sit down.
It's a to-go place, and it's in the
Okay.
peninsula. It is only about 2,000 square feet, very small. It's in a very sleepy town in between Daly City and South City. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say where, but
Yeah, of course.
you know what I mean.
Yep.
But it'll be all over the news in a couple or a few weeks once we
Ooh,
open. Yeah,
awesome. Everyone definitely
yeah,
give Chef Reina a follow on her Instagram if you guys want updates on that. And I think
yes, please.
DJ Elephant definitely was like, "Oh my god," because she was like, "Oh, I'm so sad that your restaurant's gone. I really want to check it out." But she's excited now that you're possibly shipping nationwide. So I think
Yes,
definitely a lot of people here are definitely looking forward to your food. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys. So
Yeah.
chef dot Reina is my Instagram handle. So if you can follow, I post a lot of semi personal stuff there too. So I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Um, that's so cool. I mean, it's so great because I think, what I've seen, at least through following your life, it's like you've always seemed to find a way, and I think that shows for your. I don't know if it's just you just trying to prove people wrong, or what do you think that is, or are you just trying to survive, or
Yeah, my mom tells me I'm a survivor.
yeah,
So I've been through the ringer this year. I
yeah,
mean, I that stuff that I can't even get into.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm definitely a survivor, and it's like you cannot sit. I've also learned from my dad that you can't sit in the corner and cry about your life.
hmm,
You got to do something about it, and then you can't. No one can change your life but you. Like people always ask me, how did you land this gig, or how did you even do this? How did you do that? I'm like, get yourself out of the way. I always say, you mind fuck everything. You're not gonna
hmm,
it's not going to happen for you. You just got to do it. It's hard. Sometimes you do things you're shaking, but you do it.
yeah,
But get yourself out of the way. If you want to start a business, if you want to start doing things on the side, do it. If
yeah.
you hear thoughts in your head, that's you. Get yourself out of there and just do it.
Just don't open a
Yeah.
restaurant, right?
Just
You
not
said.
open a restaurant ever.
uh,
Catering.
there you go. Catering is the way to go. So we have a couple questions in the chat. Want to definitely
Okay,
have
cool.
have people. So Sheila E says, when should we expect the meal prep delivery?
Oh yeah, so when we open our new spot, so a few weeks, in a few weeks, I will announce it. So follow us on chef.reina and on Instagram, and then we will keep giving updates as soon as we're closer to the date. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're eager to move too. We're working out of a temporary kitchen right now, and it's pain in the A.
Yeah. So Fofo Forest asks, what does the conversation look like when you have to let people go? It can't be an easy convo, especially for those who have been with you for a long time.
Yeah, it's always like it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always no, I've always had a hard time with that because all my workers are my friends.
Yeah.
So we've had, oh God, we've had so many bad experiences about people, like letting people go.
Mhm.
It's mostly like, I would say to them, sorry, it's not working out. I feel like you're struggling and this might not be a good fit. I mean, it's tough.
Mhm.
So now my game plan is like, oh, only hire people that that's has your best interest at heart and is also like a really good friend and also cares about the business as much as you. And now I do have people like that in my life right now, and I'm very lucky.
Definitely. It's always good to have support, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Sheila E, her a follow up to her other question was, is it, I guess she's asking if it's protein by the pound,
So
or is
right
it,
now you can buy the protein by the pound, but
oh, okay.
in our new place we're gonna do like a whole like meal kit, like a meal like a with the carb with the like an actual meal prep thing.
Yeah. Oh, and then DJ Elefunk says, "Hey, Reina, another friend of mine knows you as well, Sunshine
Oh,
Velasco."
Sunshine, I love her.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
a vegan chef as well. She does
Oh,
pop up.
awesome.
Yeah, she
Nice.
does Ilocano dishes.
Ooh.
Yes.
So,
So that's another thing I want to do at my new spot. Like when we're closed, POC women owned businesses are welcome
definitely
to do pop-ups in my place. I got
awesome.
you.
Yeah. So, any POC women, definitely hit up Reina. Let's do it.
Yes, let's
Let's
do this.
get you all together.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, here you go. Bodoy. What are your favorite dishes to cook at home? Any tips for a new vegan?
Yeah, so I cook a lot at home. So I think my tips, I cook a lot, so I can't really answer that, but I can answer the tips though. So I think when you're starting as a new vegan, always like change your butter to vegan butter. So many good choices out there now. Change
Mhm.
your milk to plant-based milk. My favorite is flax. It's closest to the real milk, in my opinion.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's butter, uh, cheese. I don't really eat cheese, but cheese and milk. So those are like your your standard. Just change those in the beginning.
Mhm.
Um, what
What are
would be
good
my tip?
substitutes for a cheese?
They have a lot of vegan cheese out.
Yeah.
BioLife
Okay.
is my favorite. So if
Okay.
you can find that, BioLife is really good.
Hmm.
You know, as a new vegan, just experiment. I love deep fried stuff. So I used to deep fry tofu. I still do at home all the time. Deep fry it. And
Yeah.
then you know, I mean, just imagine you're cooking a meat dish, but then just take the meat out and substitute it with like bouillon or mushroom powder or tofu. You'll be good to go.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what else we got. Of DJ Elephant says Sunshine's vegan kare kare is so bomb.
I know. She's so
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yes. So we didn't mention this. So you did. I believe. What did I write the date? In February 2018, you did a little ebook teaser.
Teaser. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I just wanted to put it out there. I mean, again, it's another part of me that when I start feeling very stuck in a place, I always like try to. So this is Reina when she's stuck. She's like trying to find like other new businesses to start or new projects. They call it projects. So I needed a project, and this was a project. And so I put out a 12-page ebook teaser, and I think it's going well. I think I'm getting some sales on Amazon still. But yeah, I mean, if I do so my publicist and I were talking that I'm not gonna pay to do a cookbook. I'm waiting for a book deal. So if
Mhm.
anybody knows anybody that I think I'm willing to share my secrets, but only for the right price.
Of course. So for anyone who wants to know about her ebook teaser, you can go onto her website. It's on
Yeah.
www.chefreina.com/about.
Hmm.
And how much is it? Can you purchase it
I
for?
believe it's 9.99.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, what's in there? What recipes are in
So
there?
just all my favorites. So
Okay,
like the kare kare, I've got the palaboks there, the adobos there. So there's a lot of good ones, like very
nice.
very good ones. Yeah,
Oh, definitely want to pick that up. That's awesome.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I believe too. You said you pretty much finished the book, so you're just kind of waiting for a publisher, basically, right?
I mean, it's not completely finished, but
Okay.
I mean, it'll probably take about half a year to do everything. But I have a lot of I have a lot of already kind of on the side, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Sheila E asks, what is your favorite vegan ice cream brand?
100% Eclipse.
Ooh. I
I
think that's
love
so.
them.
I think it's so awesome. We're actually asking you, kind of like, what are your? Okay, so you already told us flaxseed milk. You said
Flax milk.
cheese. I'm sorry, flax milk.
BioLife.
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 Okay, and then you said the cheese. And then what was the other
Butter.
dairy?
Earth
Butter.
balance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Earth
Earth
balance is
Balance.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Wow, this is
See, these
great.
are like so I've already tested all these things. So you don't
Yeah,
have to try like five different cheeses. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
You guys heard it here first. I gave you guys some secrets, so you're welcome. Please give us a follow.
I love that plug. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome. I think that's because I think like like I think I forgot who's mentioning not labor and tune, but someone was mentioning it's like for a new vegan like how about trying to figure out how to go about it and try to find the most similar thing like it's like obviously they have to go through so many different brands and it's kind of
Oh
great
yeah.
that you've kind of figured it out already. um,
Somewhat.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm always trying things. I
Yeah,
love doing that. You know,
yeah,
if there's a new product, that's another thing I want to do in the future is get product sponsorships, and we're working on that right now. My publicist is anyway.
yeah. Any product sponsorships, hit up Reina.
As long as it's vegan, I'm down.
Yeah. That of course. um, so Bodoy, what about egg substitute? Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't see her, I think we saw it in some of the food. Like you had egg in there or
Yeah, so you
egg.
can buy that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we buy that egg
Uh-huh.
and it's made out of yuba
Nice.
sheets for
Okay.
the white part, and then the yellow part is mung bean of all things.
Oh, really?
It's Mongol. Yeah. Can you believe that?
Really? Oh my
Dude,
God.
it tastes just like egg. I'm gonna tell. But you know what? I like it, but
Mercy.
I actually like just egg better.
Uh-huh. Jeff's egg?
Just egg.
Just
Yeah.
egg. Oh, okay.
It's scrambled eggs that's vegan, yeah.
I'm trying to find
So
it. I can't seem to find it, but I think everyone knows
it's
about
in
it.
the corned beef photo, I think.
Corned beef. Oh, okay. Yeah, for
You
some
see
reason
it?
it's not popping up. It's cycling through, that's why. Yeah,
Mm.
I'll just put it here so just in case people. Yeah, there you go.
There's the egg.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, so good. Okay, so yeah, so Bodoy said egg substitute. Sorry, what did you say
Yeah, I
again?
said just egg.
Just
Just
egg.
egg? Yeah. Just egg.
Yeah. Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
Joe Ill? How you doing? Just for egg for scrambles. Yep. I am Erwin Jude. Let's see what else. Yeah, if anyone else have any other questions, because I think we're wrapping up. Definitely ask away, and we'll.
Yeah, I've been here a long time.
Yeah. Hey, but you seem so comfortable. Look at you.
Yeah,
Everyone,
I feel like I feel like I only covered half my life.
I know, but
I'm already,
it's quite a bit though. No, it's awesome. Thank you
it
so
was.
much.
I mean, it's a long story, man.
I
Long
mean,
story.
it's crazy though, because so from you starting your restaurant, career, right? 2012, I think is what the bio said. And it's
Hmm.
2020. That's 8 years. But
Yeah.
you've done so much. It's amazing. Like, all the catering stuff from opening three restaurants. Um, and like I said, like uh, cooking classes, the guesting on a whole bunch of things. I think you're on a bunch of like, I don't know if you're on, not TFC, but you're on a bunch of other,
Oh,
platforms.
TFC 6 times. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Six
Yeah. Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How was
Yeah.
that?
I'm a regular there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was such a regular that when COVID hit, they had me do videos on my own, right?
Yeah.
Raw videos and send it to them, and then they edit it and then they show it.
Yeah.
So I have a few that I actually did it myself.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're very supportive. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, so doing that, and like obviously all those pop-ups, and then obviously now the pivot. Yeah, it just seems like the future is up for you. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is where I think
Awesome.
this is where my life really starts.
Yeah,
This is when it starts.
definitely, definitely. And I guess what if you could tell your younger self
Oh God.
anything, any advice? What would you say?
Don't open a restaurant. Because I was always so people always look at me as like a risk taker and fearless person, but no, I'm very I have a lot of anxiety. I suffer from a lot of anxiety too, like I don't know why, but it's also because it's myself,
Mhm.
it's just this the mind fucking thing. But
Mhm.
I guess I would tell my old self that oh my young self, I would tell them don't be scared, you'll be okay.
Mhm.
I think that's what I would say.
Definitely. Sorry, going back. I know you said there was a lot of stuff where you're kind of looking into yourself and focusing on your health
Yeah.
and clearing your mind and all that stuff. What were you doing? Were you doing like yoga or anything, or were you just like
No, I
breathing
hate
exercises?
yoga. I
Okay.
actually do hate yoga. I hate yoga. I hate it because like with a person who thinks a lot, that's you just like lay there. No, so I have personal training, and I do dance. I'm learning. I'm doing dance classes. I'm doing personal training. I do a lot of like self care where I take care of myself. I try to eat well if I can, which is
Hmm.
like impossible. But I play golf, play
Oh,
tennis. I do a lot of things. People always say that I do a lot. I do a lot. I do a lot for myself.
it's amazing. I'm like, how do you find this time?
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. My kids are grown. My kids are, oh, and then my son now does a lot of going to the store for me. He does
Okay.
delivery, so he helps me a lot. He's 17. He drives now.
Nice.
But so it's nice. It's nice that someone can help me. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to just go take walks and do classes and all that stuff. Man, that's important. I didn't realize how important that was because like
Hmm.
being able to just in survival mode for so long.
Hmm.
You can't, that's not sustainable when you're in survival mode all the time.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean it's you definitely made a point. Like I think it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. It's like,
It was.
this kind of gave you a chance to kind of breathe and take things in and be like reassess the situation
100%.
and figure out, okay, what is my next plan. So it's great, it's awesome.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
uh, so shout out real quick, everyone, real quick. If you guys make sure, definitely give Reina a follow, but also give us a follow. I think there's a little heart button right below the window that basically is a follow, and it'll notify you whenever we're on. Because like I said, we do this interviews of a bunch of people every week, every Sunday, and yeah,
Wow.
and definitely, I'm really glad that I actually found you. I don't even remember how I found you, but
How
I
did
think
you find me?
I don't know. I think I know I found Astig Vegan in
Mm,
a while ago, like from another podcast, and then I think you just kind of go through the Twitch, or not Twitch, sorry, the Instagram rabbit hole. You're like, oh, click on this person. Oh wait, oh, what's this post about? What's that post about? And
yeah.
I saw your story, and I was like, oh, it's a really interesting story. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. My God. I mean, you guys are so resourceful. I mean, you got all my stuff. I remember asking Paloma about where are all my stuff, man?
Yeah,
Like, where are all my, because I needed to have them all in one page and then we couldn't even find all of them, but you
yeah,
did a good job. Thank
yeah.
you. That
I
was
could
really nice.
I can package it together and just send it to you as a zip file if you
Oh
want, so
my God, you
you
are
can use it.
awesome. That would
Yeah,
be
definitely.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
one more thing. Bodoy
Mhm.
asks, I think we already mentioned this, but how can we support, follow any of your future projects?
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram because that would be the only way you could find out when it's happening. So,
Mhm.
when we open our new place, which is pretty soon, so
Yeah,
exciting. We just got
yeah.
done with construction, so
Oh,
yeah,
it's really
yeah,
gonna.
it's
Wow.
really yeah. So construction's done, equipment's in. I just need to get my permits, and then we're gonna be cracking.
Oh man, that's amazing. Looking forward
Yeah,
to it. Definitely. When this when this opens up, when everything opens up, definitely want to check your stuff. Go up there and visit.
definitely. Yeah, let me
Yeah,
know when you're around here. We'll hook you up for sure.
definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I think that's it. If anyone has anyone we could follow, or sorry, if anyone you guys want to raid, definitely let me know. Is there anything else you want to say? Any thank yous to people, or
Thank you to everybody. I mean, I have really close friends that have been my rock during this time this year, and they've just been my support. That just being there and eating with me most of the
yeah,
time. You know, just to be like, you can do this, and yeah, thank you for all the customers that been loyal to me, even if the next brand has closed, they're still around and. Yeah, so there's certain people in my life that are definitely very close, and I'm very appreciative of that.
definitely awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all of this hard work you're doing. You're amazing. I think you're very good at this stuff,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I really appreciate for you for having me here. I really appreciate it.